Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Now when I say Nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide. Is both. Nationwide. Is both. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
When you have a kid, the only bowl that matters is the one in the bathroom. Yes, we mean their trip to the toilet bowl. Introducing a new team player from Dude Wipes, flushable Lil Dude Wipes. Like the original, they're also free of chemical binders and alcohol, so you can protect your little player's end zone with the safest clean possible, making Lil Dude Wipes the MVP of clean tight ends. Gentle enough for little cheeks and strong enough for toddler streaks. So don't fumble the ball with TP like a rookie and help your little dude be part of the first generation never to suffer from dry paper. And don't forget, Lil Dude Wipes come fragrance-free or in Bubble Bum, the bubblegum scented wipe that keeps your little stinker smelling fresh and clean. Flushable Lil Dude Wipes, made with 100% plant-based natural fibers. Available exclusively at Walmart nationwide. Get almost anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get chicken parmesan delivered. A little escape? No. A delicious bowl of grapes? Yes, that. An afternoon stroll? Sorry, no. A burrito bowl? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
Here's Kristen Balboni and Sharon Thorsland with your Sideline Pass.
Welcome to Sideline Pass with your sideline reporters, Sharon and Kristen. Sharon, I'm going to get right into it because you were on this game on Sunday, this incredible 17-0 comeback win. The Panthers just absolutely, crushed it as they made this huge comeback over the Dolphins. What was it like on that sideline as they mounted the comeback?
Oh my gosh, it was so awesome because, and it was just like, oh my gosh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this, guys. And it wasn't like they were getting like overly excited. It was just real methodical, like different guys would come up on the sideline and say, one play at a time, let's go get another one, just 3 and out here. Derek Brown was like, we're going to go get the ball back for you after Bryce had the turnovers, because that was one thing that really stood out to me in this game. Was in the past, it seemed like if we get multiple turnovers like that, it's sort of like, the air is out of the balloon and everybody's like, oh my gosh, here we go again kind of thing. And it's like guys get a little deflated.
It's so hard to win after you have 2 turnovers.
Exactly. It is. Exactly. And it puts such strain on the defense and stuff, but that just did not happen in this game at all. I mean, they were just really businesslike, really methodical, and they never lost. And not that they've lost faith before, but it was just, you could just see it. They're like, okay, we're going to do it. It's like they really believed. And then the way the defense was playing, it was really, the defense really did such a great job in this game. It was unbelievable. And then, of course, what can you say about Rico Dowdle? Holy moly, he was unbelievable. But it was just so much fun to see that, progress and how they were able to, catch up and then take the lead. Then they went down again and they come back and score again to win. And it was just like, oh my gosh, it was just awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Sharon, if you think about it, what you just said about the defense and then Rico Dowdle, I was just thinking about it. Rico Dowdle had 10 times the number of yards that the Dolphins rushing attack had, because the defense, the Panthers defense, only gave up 19 yards on the ground, which is just an insane number to me. And then Rico Dowdle had 206 yards on the ground. That's just crazy. The domination on both sides on the ground is so neat.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And I mean, the Dolphins did not have a particularly stellar run defense coming in, and Rico certainly exploited that. But the Panthers' run defense, we had that shutout against the Falcons and everything was great. And then you go to the Patriots and they ran all over our defense. And it's like, oh my gosh. So for them to be able to bounce back, put on the same type of performance that they did against the Falcons with the run game, to really shut that down, that was amazing. Because it's not like the Dolphins didn't have good running backs. They had good running backs. Yeah. So that was really impressive. And I know that they gouged just a little bit early on with some of those explosive pass plays with Waller and Jalen Waddle. But then they just shut that down in the second half. Darren Waller was like non-existent in the second half of the game. They did a great job on him. So overall, the defensive performance was really outstanding, but particularly against the run, which is, I know they love to be able to shut down that run. That's what they always want to do, is shut down that run. And they were able to do that big time on Sunday.
Yeah, and I want to go back to something you said a few minutes ago of just the way in which they all, you said about Derek Brown saying we're going to get the ball back, and how they just methodically went and did it. It's such a good point because, as we know, and we see it on the sidelines, and I imagine, you can infer this if you watch the game, but these guys are professionals. So it doesn't matter if they're down 17-0 or, down bigger on any team really, but especially on the Panthers, because I can see it on the sidelines. They professionally go out there and do their job. Even if you're in the fourth quarter and you're down, 3 touchdowns or whatever it is, all of these guys take this job very seriously, and they go out and they do what they're supposed to do. So then to be able to go out and do what you are doing anyway, and to see it pay off in this way of a 17-point comeback is incredible, and what a validation. And I was wondering, Sharon, in my head, I was talking to Jonathan Stewart and Thomas Davis about this earlier on one of our shows, and I wonder if you think about this the same way. I think when you look at wins, I always think, okay, a team can kind of check off a checklist of, okay, you have a dominating win. And that's what I saw in the Atlanta game, right? You're 30-0. Your defense shuts them out. And of course, there are things that they, want to take back and do over the offense or whatnot. Your special teams looks great, right? And you say, okay, we can shut a team out. We can put 30 on a team. And then you have a game like this, which is a comeback win. And then your players know we can come back. We can come back from down 17-0 to win this game. And we can have a late game drive, which we got to see a lot of last year, these big late game drives. We can have a late game drive, and when the other team has scored, and we can come back and win the game. And I always think those are kind of two, okay, we can be dominant and we can come back and win a game. And then I think another one that they're probably looking to check off is a close win, right? We are going to go back and forth, and we're going to come out and we are going to win, or we're going to play a clean game. But I always kind of think that big comeback win is something you check off as a team of proof. And that's what Jonathan Stewart said. He said that's huge, for your identity and for knowing that you can do it. But do you ever think of things that way, or is that just my weird brain?
No, I totally agree with you, because that's not easy to do. We all know.
No.
I mean, when you're down, especially 3 scores, that's mentally, a lot of teams will check out when they get to that point, and they'll be like, all right, game over, let's just cash it in. But for this team was able to, continue, like you said, to continue to grind, to continue to work, to just chip away. And then I think it just does phenomenal things just for their confidence to be able to know, what, we can do this. Just a couple of turnovers it's not going to kill us. Obviously, you don't want to do it, but we can overcome mistakes, which I think in the past, this team has not been able to do. They have not really been able to overcome mistakes and come out and on the winning end. So to be able to have a couple of turnovers, still be able to climb your way back into this game and then come out on the winning end, I think just says huge things for them from a confidence standpoint, and just validating that, like you said, you keep on working, and it comes out as a positive for you. So for them to be able to do that, I think that is just huge, because it's much harder to win that type of a game than it is that 30-0 win over Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk about the fact, 2-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. Sharon, you usually do the road games, so sorry about that. But you did this awesome.
It was really fun doing that home game last
games.
week.
Absolutely. And then, I talked to Dave Canales, and he said, we got to figure out how to take this on the road, right? And I think minimizing the mistakes that you were just talking about is going to be a big part of that, starting fast, playing the game that they, running on the running that they did in this game, and then also stopping the run. Those things are going to be things that they can hopefully build on. But for this young team, they get another chance to play at home, and they are playing the Dallas Cowboys, who look good. They're putting up, in their wins, they're putting up like 37 points, 40 points, all sorts of stuff. And I think they have, well, Sharon, you'll tell me in terms of their offense. I'll let you tell us the stats. But before we get into your scouting report, I want to talk about Rico Dowdle. As we said, NFC Offensive Player of the Week, over 200 yards in this game. And then now he is facing his former team. And Sharon, I've heard a couple quotes. He's not backing down from the fact that he wants this team to remember that they let him go.
Exactly. Yeah, he had the buckle up quote earlier this week. Yeah, he's ticked off that they let him go, and he wants to show them exactly what they're missing. And I'm sure they got a little glimpse of that with his performance last week against the Dolphins, and they're probably going, "Oh wow, that's maybe that was a mistake." So
Mhm.
I'm sure he's going to be definitely looking to replicate, or at least do even a fraction of what he was able to do against the Dolphins would be amazing. And to go do it against his former team, which would be just really cool if he's able to go out there and do that, because we're not sure yet on the status of Chuba Hubbard. He's still day to day with that calf injury, but when and if he is ready to go, as Coach Canal said earlier this week, it's a good problem to have two running backs in Rico and Chuba that can do what both of them are certainly capable of doing, which is putting up some big rushing yards. So it's gonna be fun to see what happens when they come back. But I do know that Rico is ready to roll against his former team, and to really make a point in letting them know that they shouldn't let him go. But we'll take him.
Yeah.
We're happy to have him.
Absolutely. And Sharon, you made such a good point before we started rolling. You said, because I was asking, I said, have either of us heard anything about Chuba Hubbard? Obviously, we're recording this on Wednesday before practice, so we'll know more as the week goes along. And he is day to day. And you said, but look, doesn't that make you feel a little bit more comfortable? If he's not 100%, you know that you have a guy. Of course, we want Chuba back there. You'd like to see both of them in the game, but he can really make sure that calf feels great, right? And he knows that there's someone that is going to do a great job in his stead if he needs it. The coaching staff does as well. So like you said, great problem to have there.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about Dallas, beyond just the fact that it's Rico Dowdle's old team. You always do the best scouting reports here. And am I right in that they have the number one offense in terms of yards per game?
They do. They do. They are number one in the NFL, average over 406 yards per game.
Oh
So
my
they
goodness.
are moving the football, and they're scoring a lot too. Like you were saying, they're fourth in the league, over 30 points a game. So they pick up a lot of yards. They're over 6 yards per play. So this is a very high octane offense. They're moving the football. Dak Prescott they're great both ways. Passing and rushing. They're third in passing offense, eighth in rushing offense. So there is literally no weakness in this offense. It's pretty impressive what they're able to do. It's the opposite side of the ball where they're having some more trouble on defense, but they have so many weapons, and that's without CeeDee Lamb. He's still out with that high ankle sprain. They're a star receiver, but they're George Pickens, who they traded for earlier, this offseason from the Steelers. He's just picked right up, it seems, for CeeDee Lamb. He's averaging over 15 yards a catch, 71 yards a game. He's unbelievable. So, and they have a really good tight end as well. So they move the football, and they've got some great running backs, and a former Tar Heel, Javonte Williams, who is up there running up a storm, and a familiar face, Miles Sanders, who of course was here with the Panthers for 2 seasons. He is now with Dallas. So they've got a really impressive offense. It's going to give this Panther defense all it can handle, no doubt.
It'll be interesting to see, and you imagine that both teams want to come out and set the tone early, because as you just said, the way in which they play is not the way in which the Panthers play. The Panthers aren't scoring 40 points a game. So that'll be really interesting to see which team has to adjust. And of course, we hope that it's the Cowboys that have to play outside of their game plan. But it'll be really interesting to see these two teams that kind of approach things differently. And like you said, the defense approaches things differently because they're not having a great to start to the season. But it'll be really interesting to see what kind of football we get in this first half. I'm looking forward to that. And then, Sharon, how was the crowd in the last home game? Because that first home game, they were incredible. And I imagine they got really, really hyped up as the game went on. But I'm imagining that we can expect a really good crowd here on Sunday.
Oh, I would absolutely think so. I mean, there were definitely a handful of Dolphin fans,
they were a lot walking around.
Pretty vocal. They were pretty vocal early on, but the Panthers fans, they just took over, and it was so loud. It was funny because when the Panthers were going for it late there, to win the game, everybody was so excited in the stands that they were being like loud on offense when they're not supposed to do it. And so the players on the sideline and a lot of the inactive guys were like trying to tamp it down. They're like, "Shh, be quiet." But the fans were just so excited. Yeah, it was funny. They were so excited. So it was a great crowd, and I'm sure it's going to be a great crowd again for this Dallas game. The Cowboy fans, they crawl out of nowhere. It seems like no matter where they go. So, there's going to be some Cowboys fans in there. But if this Panthers team can get going early on, and that's the one thing about this Dallas team, their defense is dead last in the league. It's like their offense is first, their defense is dead last. So they are dead last against the pass. So they have some serious vulnerabilities defensively. So if Bryce and the offense can get rolling early, get up on this team early, I think that you're going to hear a lot of loud Panthers fans in the stadium, and that the Cowboys fans can, just go into the concourse and go get a snack.
Sure. I just love that you said they crawl out of nowhere. It's so funny. Oh, this was great. Like you said, exciting home game when the Cowboys come to town. And Sharon, we'll do this again next Wednesday.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. I am joined now by Mitchell Evans. Thank you for doing Sideline Pass. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Okay. First things first. I've heard it as Mitch and I've heard it as Mitchell. Most important question of the interview, which one do you prefer?
I really don't mind. Family calls me a bunch of different things too, but...
Well, now I have to know what those are. What does the family call you?
Mitch, Mitchell, whatever.
You ever get a Mitchie?
My aunt calls me Mitchie, so she's listening to this. She's like, oh yeah, she started that. She still does it. My dad grew up, the movie, I forget the movie it's called, but he called me Stillwell.
Okay. I know. I can't think of it either.
League of Their Own? No. That's it. Whatever.
We're going to find, if someone is watching or listening, please let us know, because I know what you're talking about. Stillwell.
Yeah, my sister traveled with volleyball growing up, and I always just tagged along. So that was kind of where they got that nickname from. But yeah, it's pretty much...
All right, there you have it. Mitchie Stillwell Evans. That's it. That's what we'll call you on your next touchdown.
Sure, that's fair.
Speaking of which, congrats on the big one on Sunday, the game winner, the best spike I've seen in a long time.
Tried my best.
It was like you were like the Thanos from just the energy that was coming out of the.
Tried my best.
So that's 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks. I imagine you kept the ball from the first one.
I did. I cut the ball.
Did you get to keep this one too?
I did not, because I spiked it, and I didn't even know I spiked it that far
or
hard. I just spiked it.
You're in the moment.
And then, yes, I blacked out. Really had no idea what was going on. I did not keep this ball from this last one, but I kept the gloves because I was like, pretty cool. But yeah. Where do
you put those things?
So my plan is for the future, when I'm done with football, whatever, and in my forever house, I'm gonna have like a man cave area, and it's gonna have the wall of memorabilia, whatever it is, if it's jersey swaps, all that stuff, game balls, college jerseys, whatnot. Have all that stuff framed and decorated. And that, but right now it's just sitting in my house somewhere. I don't even know where it's at.
You don't know where the ball is?
No.
From last week.
I think it's in my office at home right now.
Sure.
But it was in my car for a couple of days.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you got stuff in the back. You're like, it's in there with like the change of clothes.
I have it though, but it's gonna have a special place somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta. And then when you get more, you got to remember which one the first one is.
Oh, it's already. It has like the equipment staff. They labeled it with like a whole tape and like the score, when it was, the day, all that stuff. So I'm like, they did it all.
Shout out to the equipment staff. Yes. They're great about 100%. Immediately grabbing that football and making sure that you have it. I always think that's such a special moment, like first touchdown. Did you, in the moment, like you said, you blacked out with this one? Did you black out with the first one?
I mean, not really. I was happy.
You enjoy the moment?
Even though we were not winning.
It's a special moment, of course. Yes. Of course. That's not when you'd want it to happen. Yes. Special moment for you.
It was a very special moment for me. Andy came up to me, because it was his first one of the year too. So he's like, hey, congrats, man. And obviously, I couldn't really celebrate. But this one, last week.
You celebrated.
Did celebrate, because, throughout the week, the tight ends, Tommy, JC, and James, and I, were all just like joking, like, we had dances, planned, and like, if you score, do this, whatever. And mine were pretty silly, but those all went out the window, because I couldn't process what was going on.
You'll have time. What was the dance? Will we see it again at some point?
If I score and if I don't black out, maybe we'll see it.
Okay.
They told me like you probably shouldn't do that because it would be counted as a tight end embarrassment. So they're pretty goofy, but
well, odds are that we might see it soon. I'm hoping it's goofy. Like please let this be goofy. Whenever it happens, we'll get to run it back and ask you about it. Speaking of Tommy, I was wondering, since you guys are both Notre Dame tight ends, did you come in knowing each other? Or did you get to know each other first when you got here?
Yeah, we never crossed paths because he just left right when I early enrolled in Notre Dame. And so if he would have stayed for his last year, we would have been there for a year. But we didn't cross paths. And we just talked about this the other day. I forgot that we like met each other briefly because he came back one day and I was already there. And it was in the summer. I think we were 4th of July just hanging out somewhere. Some guy threw a party for the football players, so we were all just hanging out just together, and he was there, whatever. Anyways, we were all just hanging out, and that was a brief moment because we both kind of forgot about it, but that was one little crossing paths. But other than that, no, we never really knew each other before kind of getting here.
Who remembered that meeting first? You're like, hey, hold on a second.
I honestly was just thinking about it like randomly. I'm like, oh, have I ever met Tom? Because someone asked me like, oh, have you guys ever crossed paths? And I always was like, no, I never did. But then I randomly thought about the question again. I was like, you know what? We actually did.
Yeah,
like it was a very brief, quick thing. And he was just telling me about how like, hey, like just keep your head down, keep working.
Yeah.
And
giving you the like, I'm the elder statesman, like I've been drafted type of a thing.
He was giving me, some good advice.
Yeah.
But because it was probably my freshman year, so I was just getting there and just getting things started and whatnot. But yeah, I remember that little instance. But up until then, no, literally nothing until we got here. So.
Do you guys talk Notre Dame football?
Oh my! We have a fine in our room if we talk Notre Dame football. No. So anything Notre Dame related, if it's me and Tommy talking, they're like, nope, that's a fine.
Are you serious? So is it other colleges too, or just because there's two of you in one room?
They call it a Notre Dame, an ND fine.
That's amazing.
So you can't, yeah.
That's so good.
Yes. So.
Oh, and especially as a rookie, you're like, I don't want to fine.
Yeah,
like,
I'm already up on the board, so I can't.
That is phenomenal. I'll have to, again, check in at the end of the season and see where you guys landed. Did you know that you have a Wikipedia page?
I have a wiki page?
Yeah. Did you know that? Because I have something that I found on it. There's I just have something I found on it. It's not anything bad. I just was wondering if you knew.
I inferred I have a wiki page. Can't anybody make a wiki page?
I think so. Anything? I don't know the ins and outs. I'm already too deep in over what I know about.
I know I have probably embarrassing photos of my younger self on the internet.
I did not. All football players have like your elementary school picture, your middle school.
Interviews from high school just after a game. Yeah. I'm just no.
Well, look, that's the price of being a pro, that people are interested in, all the things that you used to do. What I saw on it is that it says that you were a starting quarterback in high school. Is that right?
I was a quarterback in high school, yes.
So Wikipedia got it right. Good to know. Were you good?
I like to think I'm good.
Yeah.
At quarterback. So I always brag about how I can, still sling it. But yeah, I like to say I was pretty good for a high school quarterback.
So I have two questions off of that. Number one, you think we're going to see a trick play at some point? You lobbying for it?
If coach, I lobby every day. I always just, imitate my 3-step drop, whatever.
You're just like, you caught me.
I can still throw if you need it, whatever. But yeah, I mean, if they have things in store for me, I'll obviously.
Well, you can't tell us to.
I'll obviously be up for it, whatever they want me to do.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't know, nothing.
Love it.
Really crazy, so.
And then my other question off of that, and my last question is, why then the switch to tight end?
So I played quarterback my freshman, sophomore, and senior year, but my junior year I played tight end. And that's because I was hurt going into that junior year, and I couldn't really twist, but I could still kind of run and move a little bit, but it hurt to really twist. And there was a quarterback already above me who was playing a lot. So I was like, I can't really move. It's hurting me, but I can still play. So they stuck me at tight end. And had a decent enough highlight tape, I guess. I've made it myself.
Nice.
Recruited off of that. And that's really kind of what colleges saw was that junior year highlight tape.
You throw a little music behind it?
I
Spotlight
did.
yourself?
It was the huddle generic music I used.
Well, look, we can use you as an editor if this football thing doesn't work out.
Yeah. I don't know about that. But yeah, that was what colleges saw me as. And then my senior year, I went back to quarterback. But the plan was I always was going to play tight end in college. And luckily, thankfully, early enrolling in Notre Dame, I got that spring and that summer. Like, that was so beneficial for me to really kind of like, not like learn the fundamentals, but like,
adjust.
Adjust even like, quicker than just getting there for that college or for camp. And that's like, it would have been probably rough if I didn't have that spring to just literally learn the nuances of being a tight end. So it's worked out well for you. I would say so. Yeah, I like to think so. Yeah, so it's been good. Mitchie, Stillwell, Evans, thank you so much for joining me on Sideline Pass. This was you shouldn't have told me. Now you're never going to live. I had the mistake. My bad. Sorry. No, but seriously, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
When you have a kid, the only bowl that matters is the one in the bathroom. Yes, we mean their trip to the toilet bowl. Introducing a new team player from Dude Wipes, Lil Dude Wipes, the flushable wet wipe for kids. Like the original, they're also free of chemical binders and alcohol, so you can protect your little player's end zone with the safest clean possible. And the best part? Lil Dude Wipes come fragrance-free or in a bubble bum scent your little stinker will love. Gentle enough for little cheeks and strong enough for toddler streaks. Made with 100% plant-based natural fibers. Available exclusively at Walmart nationwide.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Now when I say nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide. Is both. Nationwide. Is both. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
So when the pressure's on, you remember the people who helped you get this far, whose knowledge guided you and whose care kept you grounded. For me, it was my dad, my mentor, who believed in me when I was just getting started in journalism. A real-life example that showed me when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, that's exactly how they approach banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. See what knowledge and care can do for you at truist.com/unstoppable. Truist, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 commercial bank.